It's been a while since I did a gameplay ASMR. So, the cool thing about this video is it's gonna have gameplay. So, honestly, I'm thinking about making it aim blocks. It's a pretty cool game. It's pretty fast paced, so pick up computer attention. Gotta get that viewer retention, you know. Anyways, as always, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 400 subscribers, so if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Honestly, ever since I figured out that, oh, I'm gonna ramble, because I like talking. Ever since I figured out that you could, whatchamacallit, plug your thingamabob render your headphone plug in there. Like, the sound quality probably got way better in my video, because now I could hear what's being said, and like if it's too loud, so I could do this. Like, there, I could tell if it's too loud. But, you know, when here it's just quiet, and it's nice, and it doesn't sound that bad. And, you know, that blowing thing, I gotta figure out how to get rid of that probably by getting a bigger computer and like a desktop or something. Because even though she's, you know, this computer got me through some stuff, like, it scares me, and I really need to pop off before she goes under, because she is struggling in the summer heat. She's starting to freeze up and all that, so that's not good. So I gotta try and, like, you know, grind. Literally, I gotta grind. Honestly, making an ASMR channel was pretty fun. It's absolutely fun. Let me say that. It's like, it gives me something to do. It gives me something to do. That's like something's good, but it gives me something to do. It gave me something to do. I'm an editor, so I edit some videos, but you know, it takes a long time to edit videos and all that. And it's just, I could just pick this up. Like, the time for production is so low. Obviously, when you start involving more techniques and editing and all of that flashy stuff, which I will do in the future, but right now, as you can see, funds are kind of low. We don't have the budget. Our console haven't approved the budget for an ASMR background and all that. But trust me, when I say this, I will go to that point, and it will be amazing. It will be amazing. So don't worry, I'm gonna do it. You know, sometimes I'm gonna put gameplay here, yeah, but I'm gonna just ramble. You know what? Yeah, it's a mix. I'm gonna do whatever. But like, sometimes you gotta speak it out to the universe. And that's that, you know. And then the universe is gonna be like, oh, you know what? He's making sense. We should, like, he's popping off, so let's make him pop off more. That's how it works, guys. Trust me. Speak what you want, and the universe, I will get this channel to 100K subscribers. There, boom, and watch it happen. Obviously, you gotta put in the work, but that belief is gonna get you somewhere, and like that attraction to that belief and all that, it's gonna get you somewhere huge, you know. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's like crazy and stuff like that. Also, sorry for cursing, and I just realized that like my fan is on and I don't even hear it on the microphone because of the low gain. It's like literally behind me. Let me turn it off and see if that does something. Yeah, okay, I hope that wasn't on all the time. I seriously hope that wasn't on all the time. I'll just have to look back and see. But now it's like way quieter, but it was like a low buzz. Now it's like way quieter. So it wasn't that bad if I did like, if like I could speak through it, because I thought that was my computer blowing air. No, but that was my fan. That literally was my fan. Like, I am not spatially aware of what's going on in my room. I forgot I had that on. That's crazy. I hope that wasn't loud. That's kind of funny. Honestly though, this is a pretty cool controller. Man, I'm gonna be honest, the PS4 is pretty good. Like, I don't know how they fucked up the PS5. Like, it's interesting to see that, like, in console generations, it's always like mix and matched, you know. So for that, I guess when I'm talking about first, second, third, fourth, fifth, I'm gonna be talking about the like late 90s to now. And first it was the PS1. Okay, does that even include the PS1 because there was no competitors for it aside from the Dreamcast and N64, but that doesn't count. So the first there was like the PS2, Xbox original, and GameCube. PS2, the Xbox, and the PS2 clearly outmatched the Xbox in every single way. It is an incredible console. It is also an aesthetically pleasing console as well. So like, and then when the PS3 era came with the Xbox 360, the Xbox 360 was especially cheap to the normal consumer, and it really appealed to a lot of like teenagers. They had like that edge to them back then. They had like that Monster Energy vibe. Like you get it, like they had that Monster Energy vibe to them. So in that era, the Xbox One, but it's been mixed and matched all the time. First is Sony, second is Microsoft, and third is Sony when the PS4 came around, because just the Xbox One was just marketed so horribly. It was marketed like awfully, honestly. It was one of the worst marketed. Like I loved Xbox more than I loved the PS2, PS3. I was always an Xbox fanboy growing up, and then they just marketed it so awfully, like a media system. Really, like sure, that's like a benefit to a console, but it is not the main selling point of a console. You know what the main selling point of a console is? How many teraflops, how many games, how fast it could run, the quality of life to get through those games faster, the loading screens, like the way to find options and all that, you know. That's what sells a console, not media. Like TVs are media players nowadays. Consoles are media players, but that's only the side thing they could do. They are a gaming console first and foremost. And this is what made the Xbox One just lose it up. I didn't even buy it. I love Xbox 360, and I love like Xbox 360. And even then, the PS3 was amazing. The PS3 sold well. I think the PS3 like flopped. Those two were back then were on top of their game. They were competitors. They were like competitors. They were absolutely on it. But then, yeah, the PS4 won out because it was marketed better. But then, you know, Microsoft realized their mistake. Like at some point, you know, and then they didn't make new consoles. They added sequels to consoles. I don't know how to explain it, but if you remember, the Xbox One Slim, the Xbox One X, the give me a moment, the Xbox XCS and whatever, you know, they have like a bunch of this. But then, you know, as they released those consoles, they were like, we need a main selling point to sell these consoles perfectly. And what they did was they added the Game Pass. That was an absolute killer. That was just crazy, you know. That was an absolute winner, breadwinner. Like Sony before they had that, but not at the same level of Game Pass. Because what Sony did, it wasn't the same thing. What Sony did is they would stream it to you, those games, and half the time they play like utter garbage. They play like shit, you know, excuse my vulgarity, but they play like shit because they were streaming it to you. They were directly installed to your console. They were not. Xbox Game Pass, on the other hand, installs it directly to your console. That's big. That's like you're owning it, and you have no issues with having bad internet connection or none of that. It's such a simple idea. It is such a simple idea that Sony retrospectively, like just speaking in like retroactive terms, they just couldn't get. The average guy does not have stellar internet to be streaming God of War. You know how hard that is on the router. And no, sorry, I'm getting like passionate about it. You know how hard that is on the router and like the wireless network and like the upload page and like that's crazy. It's a lot of stress. And most of the time the games would lag out. If Sony simply made it to where it could install on your system, because they had that technology on the PS4 era. I had a PS4. They had it with the PS Plus type stuff, but they were so greedy. They would rather, I guess, rent the games and outright buy the studios and put that, you know, to install directly. Like they had that games would time out the moment you ran out of PS Plus. You couldn't play it anymore, even if it was installed. So they had that mechanic. That same mechanic is in. So like piracy isn't an issue. Like getting games for free wasn't the issue. it was just laziness because the Game Pass has that mechanic and installs the game directly to your system, so there's no errors. And that's why in the 5th generation, and on top of that, the PS5 was really, on top of that, these two consoles released in the worst era to be released when the global supply chain just collapsing because of COVID and all of that. Like, why would you release that in like a pandemic? Did you think that people? No, not a lot of people had money, not a lot of people were working. They could have just like kept on working on the PS4, but Sony is winning on this race because you know, because Sony's not winning, but Microsoft is winning big time, big time, big time. Like holy crap! Like Jesus, guys, you got it in the bag. Like it's always flip and flop. Like I'm expecting. Excuse me. I ate breakfast, so I'm a bit burpy. But Sony did not do good. Microsoft is popping off. Sony also marketed their console the same way the Xbox One was first marketed. So it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. It was not. It was garbage. It was hot garbage. Like garbage. So I'm expecting. So you see that flip flop pattern. There's a pattern. So maybe you'll see the PS6 and the Xbox 2 or whatever they're gonna call it switch sides. I could see the PS6 winning, but a lot of decisions matter. Even if they're so simple, it was so simple. You either install the game or you play it on cloud, which is just garbage. It's utter garbage. But that's crazy how one simple decision can determine the fate of an entire console market. So remember, guys, your actions have consequences. Decisions matter in life, and that's an example of that. They absolutely messed up by not having you install the games directly to your system, so you can play without any latency or lag input. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed. I just have some gameplay because this is a gaming-related video, but it's a crazy video nonetheless. So, have a good one, good night, and obviously sleep well.